Hello, I'm Jean Jacques Chen, and I'm a Taiwanese artist born in Paris, in France, and I grew up in Belgium. I studied animation in Brussels, and it was at art university called La Cambre, where I studied animation for more than 7 years now. And after I graduated from La Cambre, I came up here in Taiwan to do animation as a freelance. And it's been 4 years now that I've been working mostly on music videos and advertisements. And the last 2 years I used to work as a storyboard artist for a feature film, Taiwanese feature film called Melody, and also a TV series called Project F. Right now, it's just still a project. All of them are planned to come up this year. For my personal style, what I would want to do is more like an animation with Chinese traditional painting style, but animated and with the dynamics of Japanese animation, for example. But right now, for most of the jobs I have to do, as I said, it's very diverse, and not one job was in the same style than the other one. Not just as an animator, but as a kid, I used to look at a lot of animation, like Looney Tunes in Warner Bros. Or Disney movies, of course. And later on, when I was still a kid, but at 7, there was my first contact about Japanese animation, like Dragon Ball and Saint Seiya, and there was a huge influence from Japanese animation in my drawing style back then. I used to draw since I was a little kid, like from the age of 2. But after 7, I used to draw a lot much more like Japanese animation. And it's only when I entered the animation school in La Cambre that I came in contact with the whole rest of the world of animation. Every director has his own universe, actually, and I was really baffled by it. And from there, I wanted to try to find my own direction. Well, there's a lot. Of course, the mostly influential on me should be Hayao Miyazaki, because it's by looking at one of his movies, Princess Mononoke, that I was 20 back then, and I decided, okay, this is what I want to do. So basically, yes, he's a huge role model for me, but there's a lot of others. There is a few shows in the few recent years, like Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is a TV animation series made in America, but with a lot of Chinese wisdom put into it, that I really recommend. There is also like the series of Kung Fu Panda 2, that are still big audience, big crowd movies, like blockbusters, but still with some hints of Chinese culture and wisdom in it. It's not just the regular big blockbuster to appeal audience. They have contents, and they have, should I say, souls. I'm actually glad that those movies were made, because even if it was made mostly in American studios, you still can feel that it's been made according to Chinese advisors. And I think that even Kung Fu Panda 2, the director was Chinese. Well, Chinese-American, American-born Chinese, but still someone related directly to the Chinese culture. And you see that it's not just a full load of Asian cliché packed up in one movie or 2 or 3. And for the past few years, I can feel that there are some very American animators or directors that are genuinely passionate about Asian culture and Chinese culture. It's been 7 years that I rediscovered Chinese traditional art, and I've been very fascinated by it. I really think that it deserves more attention because not just by the aesthetic, but also by its philosophy. And I just think that also that animation by itself is also a kind of art, a form of art that is very synthetic. It's probably one of the perfect media to express Chinese painting, actually, to give a second life to it and make it accessible, affordable to everybody, the broad audience. First, I rediscovered Chinese culture, well, mostly by movies, because back then I was quite a huge fan of, well, since I was a kid I was a huge fan of Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, well, of course, most of the people of my generation. But afterwards I also discovered some movies of Jet Li, for example, which he came up quite late in Europe. I discovered him at like 18 years old or 19-year-old, and it was always quite a link about me and the Chinese tradition through the movies. But usually I was more appealed by the martial arts side of and the action side of those movies. And later on, as I was seeing more and more movies like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or Hero from Zhang Yimou, I became more aware of the beauty and the philosophy of Chinese traditions, and I wanted to discover a little bit more about it. So I read a few history books, for example, about Chinese history, and also some saying about Confucius or Lao Tzu, all the big classics, if I could say. Even though I didn't understand everything, well, I still believe that there is a lot of wisdom that that should be shared. I used to practice martial arts when I was in Belgium still, because there, even if I didn't find any calligraphy artists or Chinese painting master, I still could find a Tai Chi master. And so I practiced with him like for 3 years. But because animation is something that takes a lot of time, in the end I couldn't really do the same, the both at the same time. So in the end I just got focused on animation. After thinking about it quite a lot, about what am I exactly, am I Belgian, am I French, am I Chinese, am I Taiwanese? In the end, I just think that I'm all of those. There's just there is nothing useful to try to figure myself as being just one of them, because most people actually are always mixed. So I think that it's not a good direction to try to figure oneself by the place he was born or the place he is living, because everybody in this world is actually a mix-up of a lot of different places. Well, that's what I believe. So the last time I felt a feeling of achievement or of self-accomplishment is probably the time I finished the music video for DJ Code, because it was the first time, and for now it's the last one, hopefully not the last, that I did something that I really wanted to do, and really that pushed me towards the direction, the graphic style direction of the kind of animation I want to do. I met him randomly at a place called China White, which is a lounge bar, but with kind of a Chinese feel about it. And he was DJ there. He was not DJing that night, but he was a regular from there. And I met him there. Like we started to chat because he was like me, like, you know, the mustache, the beard, and the long hair. So it was an instant click, and we just started to chat. He told me he was in music. I told him I was in animation, and soon we really discovered a common passion about Chinese traditional art. And it was decided very quick, very simply, that we would work together. And he told me he was in the middle of doing an album. He wanted somebody to make some music video for him, to help the promotion of the album. So he was very pleased by the result as well, because he's also doing modern music, electro music, but with a touch of Chinese traditional music in there. And so, because both our universe are very strongly linked, I want to do more about it. So maybe co-working with him in the near future, or probably trying to push into this animation direction. I have a project about some Chinese history that would be hopefully a TV series, but not really all audience, because it's a very artistic project, and I would like to do something like, well, in animation you have a lot of steps to make an animation. The first step is the rough pencil drawing, and then you animate your character, so you have to draw all the drawings of the animation, of the movement. Afterwards, you have to ink it. You have to ink all the lines of the characters, and you have to do it very cleanly. And after the cleaning, you have to color it, of course. So it's already 3 steps. Afterwards, there's a lot of other steps involved, but these are the 3 major steps about animation. You have also to add music, for example, after. And my project would be to try to make a story about a world with where everybody is drawn into pencil, and some of the characters are trying to push that and to try to ink the whole world, and then to color it, and then to add some music about it. So to really make a complete and full world. And in this series, I would like to do it like a Chinese tale, a Chinese stories with a lot of martial arts fighting in there, and the people would fight with the pencil or the pen or a lot of others tools required for doing an animation as weapons, for example.